Fiesta! Welcome back to the Rowdy Red podcast. I am so happy to be back. I know that I take my little breaks, but when I come back, I have noticed that I am better than the last episode. If you're watching the video, you see that we are in a new location. I am currently at the Sanctuary Hotel doing a little staycation. It is absolutely beautiful. Shout out to my best friend, Sarah. She works here, so she was able to get me a discount for staying here, which I am so grateful for. But man, life is just lifing right now. I don't even know where to begin. So much has happened since the last episode, but we need to address the elephant in the room. That being, in the last episode, I shared that I kind of had something big that was happening that I was going to share with you guys. And I'm just going to rip off the Band-Aid. I got a boob job and I am so happy about it. And I want to take a second just to talk about how I feel like finally in my life, I'm choosing to do what I want to do. And I want that to be the theme of this week's episode. Yes, we can talk about plastic surgery and all of that. And I want to make a little disclaimer here. This is not me in any way promoting plastic surgery and telling anybody what they should do with their body. That's not what I'm trying to do. I want to talk about what I am doing for myself that is making me happy and finally putting myself first. And hopefully what you can get out of this is that you will start doing the same. Before we get into any of the details of anything, let's pop open a bottle of champagne. You guys already know me. I am bougie on a budget. I just went to Safeway and I found the cheapest bottle of champagne that they have. Will this feel good tomorrow? Probably not. But what we are drinking today is Andre California champagne. So let's give her a pop. Oh, it's a twist cap. Damn it. I really wanted that ASMR of the pop. Let me see if the twist is a good sound. Probably not. I thought that was just gonna twist. I didn't know it was gonna pop too. Oppa! I definitely spilled. Shit, I'm supposed to have that tilted. Fuck. Hold on. A nice pour because we are celebrating. All right, cheers everyone. Hope that you can enjoy something with me. All champagne to me tastes the same. I've had Dom Perignon, not from me buying it, but I've had it before, and I've had my cheap champagne. It all tastes the same to me. This is delicious. 10 out of 10 from me. All right, let's just jump right into it. So to anyone who doesn't know me personally, this might seem like a post-breakup single, just random decision to make. This is not. This is something that I have wanted for so many years, and I'm actually going to insert a little photo right here showing you guys. When I was younger, I used to, like toddler, I would go into my mom's closet and I would grab her bras and try them on. I always wanted boobs, and I think as a girl, that's just kind of part of womanhood, and there's some women out there that absolutely love and embrace being in the small itty bitty titty committee, and I embraced it and loved it for as long as I was in it. But I always knew that I wanted a little something. Mom, I hope you don't care that I'm saying this, but my mom has gotten hers done as well, and there's other people in my family that have had them done, and so I guess I was just around them all growing up. But I feel like with my swimsuits and with certain clothing, I just didn't feel like my most confident self. And I think it's very important to obviously love and embrace the body that God has given you, which I really did. And I loved it. But I got to a point where, honestly, in every single relationship too that I have been in, let's do like a little sidetrack here, I've shared with every single partner that I have been with that I have wanted a boob job, even going back to my high school relationship. and they all told me no, which, interesting, you know, like why not? And also, why not support the woman that you are with that wants to do something to enhance their beauty? And it was also something that I was always planning on buying for myself. It was not anything my parents did. It's nothing that a partner was going to do for me. And I didn't even have that option because I didn't even get the support from any of the partners that I have been with. And I think that that's kind of been a common trend in my life, is listening to what my partners have said instead of going with what I want to do. And like I said, I've been wanting to do this for so many years, and I think that the reason why I haven't really talked about it with a whole lot of people or on my podcast or social media or anything is because I didn't have the funds to be able to do it. I truthfully didn't really start doing well with my business until this past year when I moved out to Arizona. If you guys heard my story of the relationship I was in and how I got to Arizona, I pretty much was broke. So beyond grateful to my mom and my dad for helping me with my move and getting me out here. And that's really what helped me set up my business and set up my life for success over the last year. I was very, very smart with my money and putting money away for taxes and my savings, and it got to that time around April or a little before April, and I had extra money, and I was thinking, you know, with being newly single, there's a lot of things I could do with that money if I wanted. I was thinking a lot about taking the summer and possibly going on a cruise for a few months or traveling Europe. I'm lucky enough where I have a business that I'm able to work from wherever, whenever. And I do eventually want to do some solo traveling. I think that would be really fun. But I started thinking more about what's something that I can give myself that I can have with me for the rest of my life and make me feel like a more confident woman. And that's when I finally realized, oh my gosh, the time is now. I actually can do this. And it was the most exciting process of finding the surgeon. And I unfortunately can't share who did my girls. They want to remain confidential. They know that I do social media, and I want to respect that. I also understand too, that's just a different space, and if you don't want to be on it, you don't want to be on it, and I'm gonna honor that. But my surgeon that I found was the first one that I went to. I went to 2 different people, and I knew right after the first consultation that this surgeon was the one I wanted to go with. It was so crazy how when you know, that was honestly probably one of the first experiences in my life where I was like, I know I'm going with the right person. And I fully did. During the first consultation, when you go in, just to give, if anybody is interested in getting theirs done, this is kind of how mine went down. So I went to the first consultation, and they had a nurse come into the room. And what was crazy is that the first nurse looked like my childhood nanny that I had growing up. Shout out Marty. She was awesome. Looked just like Marty. And then the second nurse that came in looked just like my grandma, my mom's mom, who was my bestest friend, who passed away when I was 14. And it was just the weirdest coincidences of like my 2 probably favorite childhood people their lookalike was in the room with me. And then the surgeon came in. He didn't look like anybody, but that's beside the point. He was so respectful, so knowledgeable, as he should be. And basically they take a look and they tell you kind of like how big you can go, I guess, based off of like your body structure. One thing that I thought was interesting is that with when people come to this surgeon, and I don't know if this is for everybody, if you choose a size that is too big for your body, like he makes you sign a document stating that like he does not agree with the size that you are going with, because of there being potential complications. And yeah, so I thought that was very interesting. I wanted to go with a very modest look, which I feel like is exactly what I got. I think that when everybody thinks of a boob job, they think crazy big, triple D's, you know, and if that's your look, and you go for it. But I wanted to do something that was very fitting for my body type and still had an athletic look to it, which I feel like I got, and I'm over the moon. I'm so happy. And so for anybody that wants to know, my surgeon says that I was about half of an A. I had nothing, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. Loved being part of the itty bitty titty committee. It's a beautiful thing. But I wanted a little bit more. And so I ended up going with 325cc is the number that I chose. And I went under the muscle. So you can either get the implant put under the muscle or on top of it. And he only did under the muscle, which I am very happy that that's what I did, because it feels natural. They're very real looking. It's very natural. And also going under the muscle, like I have little to no scarring at all. My scars are almost completely healed. And also I am 7 weeks post-op. So I think by the time that this episode is uploaded, I will be 8 weeks post-op. And yeah, so I had that first consultation. I ended up going to another surgeon, and it was just a no from me. It was so black and white clear that I had to go with the surgeon that I went with. He was just, I didn't feel comfortable. That's pretty much it. And I won't be giving names either for that. But I then ended up having 2 more consultations before the surgery, deciding on what size I wanted. That was really scary, figuring out what size you want, because you don't know how it's going to look. You try on different like teardrop shaped implants, and I brought like a swimsuit to be able to put them in, to be able to see if I like the way it looks. And then it's like, you don't want to just see what your body looks like in a bikini. You want to see what it looks like, you know, under a t-shirt. And so I brought a bunch of different shirts and swimsuits to be able to see like how it would look. And then the other thing that you choose is the projection of it. So there's high profile. I think they have extra high profile too, which is like higher, extra, augmented. Then there is medium profile and low profile. There's also different types of implants. I went with the brand called Mentor, and I ended up going with high profile. That is because I had absolutely nothing and no structure to work with. And you know what? These are the years that my boobs are supposed to be parky. So I was like, you know what? With age and time and gravity, they're going to drop. And the fact that they already look as natural as they do right now, this soon after surgery, I couldn't be more happy. So yeah, that's that. And then let me think. Surgery day. So some people might think this is weird, but my dad flew in to take care of me for surgery. My mom didn't have enough PTO days, and so my dad came and took care of me. I am so grateful to have a relationship with my dad where it wasn't weird at all. For some that might be weird. It was not at all. My dad was just there to support me and take care of me. And how cool, you know, to be able to have a relationship with your dad where he supports you in anything and everything you do. So shout out, Dad. I love you, and thank you so much for taking care of me. And he showed up for me in so many more ways than I could have imagined. From obviously driving me to and from surgery, making sure I was comfortable, leading up to it. So they give you a muscle relaxer to take before you drive to the hospital. And yeah, so I was really relaxed the day of. I was just really giddy the night before. I barely could sleep. I was so excited. But it was also a weird feeling the week of surgery, realizing that it's your last few days in the body that you've only known. I really prayed a lot, obviously, in hopes that surgery and recovery and everything went over smooth. But I never questioned this decision because, once again, it's something that I always wanted for myself, and I tried for some reason to listen to what other people thought was right for me. And in a way, with this decision and so many of the decisions I've been making recently, it feels like I'm getting that power back. And I think that that's something I want to tap into, especially with this episode. And I hope that you guys are getting from this is do whatever the hell you want to do. We have one life. We live it in one body. Do what you want to do and do what makes you happy, right? Right. So surgery happens. I'm nervous because I'm a redhead. Naturally, I have gel in my hair. Oh, look at that sun. Yeah, you can see the red hair there. But if you know one thing about redheads, we handle anesthesia very different than other people. I have only been put under once, which was a little bit different because I just had my wisdom teeth removed, but they had to use like 3 or 4 times the amount of whatever it is that they were using on me to put me out than the average person. Being a redhead, your hair color, the reason why it is the way that it is because you have a genetic mutation. There's something different with our genes that make our hair that color, and for some reason, anesthesia just hits different for us. Quick pause on this story. What is going on with TikTok right now with the ginger community finally getting recognized and getting some love? Cheers to all the redheads out there. I'm taking a sip because it has been legendary. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't know if we're just being trolled. I don't know what's going on, but we are getting love. We are feeling seen, and thank you to the amazing woman that started this trend and have brought out the confidence that us redheads have needed for our whole life. So thank you. But anyways, back to my story. So I was only a little bit nervous because I was obviously put under completely. And that's a scary thing because there has been stories of redheads waking up in surgery. A lot of us are scared of the dentist for that reason because people have not taken it seriously when we have talked about it. Like this is a real thing. And I know that I'm a dark auburn, but like you see, I do have red hair. I have naturally darker features, but I still have all of the same side effects as redheads. And I have had my whole entire life getting bullied, all that jazz. Anyways, spoke with the anesthesiologist, and he was pretty much like, we are going to be monitoring you and your heart rate. Like, we will be able to tell if you are coming out of it, and we will be able to give you more before you even have the opportunity of waking up. And so he was awesome, made me feel so comfortable leading up to surgery. And what was wild is I just remember my dad saying goodbye. He was going to go run some errands while I was getting the surgery done. Like he was going to go, to Costco and get me food and whatever it is that I needed quickly before I obviously would wake up. The surgery was only an hour and 15 minutes, I believe. So it was really quick, but I remember them wheeling me in to the surgery room and then them putting the mask over my mouth and just saying, I want you to take a few deep breaths for me. And then while I was doing that, they were like, we're just going to move you onto the table. All I remember was like getting halfway onto the table and then waking up and surgery being done. That's a weird feeling. I've never had a surgery done before other than my wisdom teeth getting out. So that was the craziest thing for me. And I woke up no pain at all. I was already in the surgical bra that they keep you in for weeks after the surgery. I had a bandage that went on the top of my chest that helped with pushing the muscle down and helping with relaxing it. And then I was off. So I went home, I relaxed for the first day, and really didn't feel anything the first day. They give you heavy pain meds and muscle relaxers. So I was on that shit for the first, 3 days, started weaning off on the fourth day. I would say that the only pain I really ever experienced was maybe at the end of day 2, feeling pain. But one thing also about us redheads is our pain tolerance is either extremely high or nothing at all, and mine is very high. So I was off of the pain meds fairly quick, I would say, for a surgery that I guess is that drastic. But yeah, I really feel like through this process, I have learned to love my body so much more, just with seeing how much it was able to recover so quickly. And it's so cool how your body is able to bounce back. And I don't know, just that whole process was really, really special to me. Obviously, there was literal growing pains because your muscle is learning to relax. Weirdest feeling out of the whole recovery process was you occasionally would feel your muscle stretch, which it's kind of weird to think about it like that, but I mean, it's stretching, it's relaxing, so you would kind of feel like a little bit of a pull. But that was really the only crazy thing that happened during recovery. I was on a plane a week later. I went out to New York for a work trip, and that was interesting because you're not allowed to lift more than 10 pounds like the first 2 weeks. So I really just had to put myself out there and ask strangers to help me with my luggage or lifting up any of my carry-on items. But yeah, it went over really smooth. Flew to New York a week after, and then I was in Kansas City 2 weeks after. The only thing that stunk about that was I wasn't able to hold my adorable niece Lola on that trip, but she's moving around. She's already walking now, so it was just more sitting down and playing with her, which is good. And I get to go and see her in 2 or 3 weeks now, so I'll be able to lift her now. But yeah, with being 7 weeks out, I am back lifting as heavy as I want to lift. I'm obviously taking it very slow to start, but took my first yoga class today. I'm back taking my cycling classes and lifting heavy, which is so nice. And I haven't had any complications or have felt weird at all with that, which I am so grateful for. I had to move us over a little bit because the sun is right in my face. But yeah, that's pretty much it for surgery. It seriously was one of the best things I've ever done for myself. I feel like I sit up taller. I feel more confident in the clothes that I wear. I'm able to buy clothes that I never thought I'd be able to actually wear and pull off. All of my swimsuits fit me, but they just look so much better because I actually fill them out. And if you're considering doing it, look into it. And if you have the funds for it and you've really thought long and hard about it, go for it. It is your life, like I said. Do what makes you happy and don't let anybody tell you what you can or can't do. And with that being said, with embracing myself finally, like fully, and literally giving myself all of the things that I want and more, I'm realizing too just so many different things that I think I allowed and let slide within relationships, and not only just relationships, romantic relationships, but in friendships, that I'm not going to tolerate anymore. And I'm going to choose myself. And one of those things also being right now is doing a little staycation. I think that you deserve to treat yourself the way you deserve to be treated. The last time I was here, I was with somebody else, and I've decided that I want to start reclaiming places and reclaiming memories and doing it for me, because I should be doing that. I'm 25. I'm young. Money is going to come back. But you're only young once, and why not do all the things that you want to do? I've also been really trying to embrace my natural beauty, which is something that kind of seems like a duh, but I'm not doing it right now. Maybe next episode I will do it, but I've been embracing my natural hair. So I have naturally very, very curly hair. All as a kid, my mom loved doing my hair in pigtails because I just had ringlet curls. Like, I'm talking, my hair is very tight, natural waves and curls. And if you have naturally curly hair, you know that it's very hard to maintain. You have to wear a little bonnet to bed at night so it doesn't get frizzy. And then when you wake up in the morning, you have to spray it with water and put product in it. And it's a lot of work, but it's something that I've been doing a lot better about embracing. And what's really sad is I have had a partner tell me that my natural hair was their least favorite way that I wore my hair. And I don't think that people, boys, friends, realize when you make comments like that, how much that sticks. And when he made that comment to me, which was so hurtful, especially because the night that I met him, I was trying to start embracing my natural hair, and then he eventually told me that he didn't like it that way. I never ended up wearing my hair like that around him ever again. And then I never ended up wearing it out when I went out for drinks with my girlfriends or out for coffee. Like, never wore it. And I've started realizing how much I love it, actually. And especially with, I know this might kind of sound unrelated, but being a country singer, and it matches my look as an artist, and it's also me. So that's something that I've really been trying to tap into and love and embrace more. And once again, choosing myself and embracing myself, as we all should. I think that whether someone tells you in your adult years something that sticks with you, or as a kid, like, for instance, once again, with everything that's been going on with redheads online, I also had to deal with some not so good stuff being said to me growing up. I was told that I didn't have a soul for being a redhead. I was asked at a very young age if the carpets matched the drapes before I even had hit puberty or anything. Like, there was a lot of things that I think people are unaware of that redheads go through. And I think that because I am a darker featured redhead and I naturally have dark eyebrows and dark eyelashes and I can tan, people think that I didn't go through any of that, but I did. I will never forget, about 5 years ago, I was at some bar actually here when I went to ASU, and I saw a guy that I thought was really cute, and I went up and I talked with him, or tried to, and he literally looked at me and goes, "I'm not into redheads." And I was like, oh, okay. So, and there's always been the topic of brunettes versus blondes, not the redheads. Also, with guys being mean to women with red hair, it's always been the comment like, "You're pretty for a redhead," or "I've never been with a redhead before." Like, it's just so weird. And I love that this topic is being talked about, because it's a canon event for so many women that have grown up with red hair. And I can't even imagine being a lighter featured redhead because I have seen it. I've heard the things that have been said, and the fact that I am the coloring that I am and have heard what I've heard, I can't imagine what it's like being on the opposite side of the redhead scale. I was in a book called Little Redheads Across America. I'll insert a little picture here. It was when I was living out in California with my family back in 2008, 2009. There was a literal meetup for redheads at a park where we were able to see, like, on the scale, are you a strawberry blonde or are you a dark auburn, and trying to find similarities between us all. And we're the 2% of the world. Like, there's not a whole lot of us. And if I'm being honest, I talked about this in therapy today. I have only met 2 redheads in my 25 years of life that have my same hair color. And one of the 2 had brown eyebrows and a darker complexion like me. And then the other one is my best friend, Alicia, who has a lighter complexion, but she is auburn. This topic, I'm just like, it's so crazy to me. And this is not me trying to be pick me in any sense. And I know that there's so many people that have had it so much worse than me, but I just wanted to bring this up because it is such a hot topic right now that I have been through this discrimination to a small extent. And I'm so happy that we are talking about it and hopefully putting an end to it, because there's an actual day called Kick a Ginger Day. I am very happy I went to a private Catholic school where I didn't experience getting kicked, but the fact that that's a thing is so fucked up. I don't mean to laugh, because like a lot of people are coming on TikTok and Instagram and talking about their experiences of getting brutally bullied for something that you cannot control. And so yeah, anyways, shout out again to the woman that has been shining light on this topic, and I'm happy that we're finally getting some type of recognition. Now that I'm done with my little redhead tangent, I want us to reel it back in again. So come back with me. We're back. We're talking about protecting your peace. And I know that that's kind of a topic that's kind of silly to say and it's overused, but it's such a real thing. And I think that from the last few episodes that I have released to now, so much from my mind has shifted on just being single and choosing your peace and what that looks like. And I think with how open I have been on my podcast and on my social media, it's very safe to say that I tend to protect everyone else's peace but my own. And once again, this is something that I am working on, and I'm going to grow and I'm going to learn to be able to put myself first. But I really feel like I'm finally doing that again. And I've just realized that the people's peace that I have tried to protect, they have not done that for me for one damn second and are not even thinking about it. And I feel like I filter a lot of things that I say on here, and not that I need to expose anybody for entertainment purposes, but I also just don't need to filter myself, period. I just want to be myself, and I want to talk about the experiences that I've been in, because that's what's real, and that's how you and I can connect, and you guys can actually get to know me and why I am the way that I am. So get used to me being more unfiltered on here and embracing this new version of myself. And I think that that's something that is so beautiful, is that we are constantly evolving. We are constantly changing into new versions of ourselves every single day. And I'm just somebody that's on here documenting it, whether we're at the same point in life or completely different parts of life from one another. I think it's so cool just to hear about different people's life experiences, and I think that you can take away something from anybody's experience, big or small. With putting myself first and really doing all the things that make me happy, I've realized that I need to just show up for myself and try my best to create the best version of myself possible, because I deserve that. And eventually, when I feel like I'm doing all of these things that are filling up my cup and I feel so fulfilled, I can't wait for someone to be able to experience that version of Selena. And I bet you feel the same exact way listening to this if you are single or going through anything, is the importance of figuring out what you look like and how you want to look and feel. This chapter of my life, I am genuinely so excited for, and I'm filling up my cup in so many ways with my music and my creativity. And I'm so blessed to have a job where I'm able to do this podcast. I'm able to sing, and I actually have a new song that is coming out. I would say, I'll just say it, in about a month, I'm going to release a new song that I am so beyond excited about. But my job for working in social media, to be able to have so many different forms of creative outlet is something I am so beyond grateful for. And I am just so happy to have this time to be able to fully pour into myself and all of these things that make me me. And eventually there's going to be someone one day that is going to love all these things about me. But until then, I can't wait to love myself for all these things that I'm doing for me, and to be able to pour into all of these different things to my best of my ability, and make myself proud. Because eventually one day I want to be the best version of myself for somebody else too, and for my family one day. And so cool to be able to have this little video diary to be able to look back on my progress as a person and sharing it with you guys. So I'm only at the sanctuary for one night and one night only. And I am so excited just to be able to take myself out for dinner. That's why I'm dressed up. That's why I'm all fancy right now, is because I'm going to take myself out for a nice dinner. I'm going to go and have a nice cocktail. The view is insane of Camelback Mountain. And I'm going to work a little bit tomorrow morning, but I'm going to take the morning to do a nice workout. They have a beautiful gym here, and then they have a sauna and steam room and a yoga room and an infinity pool. And so I'm going to treat myself to this little vacation, and I'm so blessed to be able to do this and to be able to have this time for myself and treat myself the way that I deserve to be treated. And with all this being said, some people after a breakup decide to fill a void, and some of us decide to get a boob job and start a band, and so that's what I am doing. I'm filling up my cup as much as I possibly can and choosing myself, and I hope that you guys do the same. So that is all I have for this week's episode. I know that this was kind of a lot, and I can't wait to go more in depth on my music stuff with you guys. I might have a special guest or special guests on the next episode or the episode after, and we're going to talk all about music and writing and what it's like being a musician in 2025. And yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff that I have brewing that I cannot wait to share with you guys. So I hope that you guys had a fun time listening to me. I'm going to continue to have my champagne and soak in the view, and I hope that you guys have a great week. Continue to do what makes you happy and continue to fill your own cup. Bye, guys.